The bottom line is, had we had those investments early on to carry this all the way through clinical trials years ago, we could have had a vaccine ready to go. We also took on a decade ago the interesting problem of making coronavirus vaccines, because we recognize these as enormous public health threats, and yet we have not seen the big pharma guys and the biotechs rushing into this space. We wound up actually making and manufacturing, in collaboration with Walter Reed Army Institute of Research, a first-generation SARS vaccine. So SARS was the one that emerged in 2003. And then this new one, of course, we call the SARS-2 coronavirus. We had it manufactured, but then we could never get the investment to take it beyond that. So that was really unfortunate, because we had the vaccine ready to go, but we couldn't move it into the clinic because of lack of funding, because by then nobody was interested in coronavirus vaccines. When the Chinese started putting up the data on bioRxiv in January, February, we saw very close homology between the two and realized that we may be sitting on a very attractive coronavirus vaccines. Now we're working with NIH, and we'll work with BARDA and others to get the funding, but now we'll have that lag. And these clinical trials are not going to go quickly because of that immune enhancement. It's going to take time. The bottom line is, had we had those investments early on to carry this all the way through clinical trials years ago, we could have had a vaccine ready to go. So we've got to figure out what the ecosystem is going to be to develop vaccines that are not going to make money. The big pharma companies are still not going in. Some of the biotechs are starting to, because they're trying to really accelerate their technology, and we need a new system in place.
You mentioned your work developing a vaccine for SARS, and you asked the question, what will the ecosystem be for vaccines that don't make money?
We're very blessed to have the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, headed by Dr. Fauci, who's been very committed to this problem. And, if it wasn't for NIAID and NIH, I wouldn't even be here, right? They've really worked hard around trying to fix this problem. The issue is it's not enough. You talk to Tony, if you talk to Dr. Fauci, he'll say, look, Peter, I'm not a venture capitalist. I can't just hand over money. It's got to go through study sections. And the issue is the study sections oftentimes will get dinged and get turned down from an NIH grant because they'll claim what we're doing is not innovative. And they're often right. It's not innovative. We're trying to make a recombinant protein vaccine. It's boring, but it's absolutely essential.
The vaccine candidate that was given the first injections for the first person took place today. You might recall when we first started, I said it would be 2 to 3 months, and if we did that, that would be the fastest we've ever gone from obtaining the sequence to being able, and the individuals will be followed for 1 year, both for safety and whether it induces the kind of response that we predict would be protective.
Oh no, there's germs on my finger. I bet you guys all know that I love science so much, and I wanted to show you a quick science experiment of how important washing your hands are. So I have a bowl of water and black pepper, and I have some just regular soap. And so let's pretend the black pepper as if it was germs. So I'm going to put my finger, and oh no, there's germs on my finger. Then I would, as if I'm washing my hands, I would dip it in some water and soap. Then the germs are all going to run away because they're so scared of soap. So that's why it's so important to wash your hands, guys, in this season. Oh no, there's germs on my finger. I bet you guys all know that I love science so much, and I wanted to show you a quick science experiment of how important washing your hands are. So I have a bowl of water and black pepper, and I have some just regular soap. And so let's pretend the black pepper as if it was germs. So I'm gonna put my finger and oh no, there's germs on my finger. Then I would, as if I'm washing my hands, I would dip it in some water and soap. Then the germs are all gonna run away because they're so scared of soap. So that's why it's so important to wash your hands, guys, in this season.